I'm Kai Aziz. I'm the lead singer of punk band Second Combat, and I'm also the president of Drug Free Youth Association of Malaysia. I've seen bands getting high in Malaysia, trying to be cool. It become normal to use drugs and to become a dealer. Every 1 hour, you got one new user taking drugs. And now the dealers are targeting younger users, like 9 or 10 they started to use nowadays. You can see kids hanging out here at the motorbike and waiting for the buyers. We have to do something, we have to step it up and to speak our opinion. It's time for me to use my microphone to speak about it, sing about it. To settle this issue once and for all, we need to go all-out war against drugs. Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia. It's situated between South China Sea and Indian Ocean. I was born in Klang Valley, a small city in Selangor. I grew up with a family of 4 brothers, sisters, and kid brother. We have a good school, we have a good life. My mother worked as a nurse. My father worked as a nutritionist. My elder brother was like a mentor to me. He was like my inspiration, my hero. At one point, my brother showed me some good stuff, punk rock. So it was like The Offspring, The Green Day, Nirvana, Bad Religion. This is where it all started. So this is where the journey begins, my house. At one point, I started my own library. I invited all my friends to come into my room and listen to punk rock and hardcore music. In the punk rock scene, we rebel to the system, to any kind of oppression or exploitation. Stressing not to conform, don't become normal. I was like, oh, this is interesting. That kind of stuff excited me. I was really addicted to it. Back on those days, whereby my brother, he got into a very famous band in Malaysia. One day, he met the wrong people. He started to change into a hardcore drug user. He started to use heroin, and it became worse and worse and worse. Till one day he sold everything in the house, even the TV, the fans, and everything, and we got nothing at home. I was disappointed and I was angry at my brother because I wanted him to stop this nonsense. At the same time, I was working at a club and I saw people there selling drugs. It was not right for me. It was not right. I wanted to change. I wanted to do something. I wanted to contribute by building up the drug-free communities. I said to my friend, let's start a straight edge movement in our city. So straight edge is a movement that started from the punk scene in 1982. It started by a band called The Minor Threat. He wrote a lyric which is against the system of smoking, drinking, and doing drugs. Straight edge always been related with a drug-free lifestyle. So I formed the band Second Combat.
Second Combat was one of the top bands in Malaysia. I really liked how Kai spread the good messages to all the kids.
Kai Aziz is a legendary punk rock band singer, and he also a legendary straight edge person in Malaysia.
This is Dataran Klang, where I wrote my song called Drug Free Anthem. The reason I wrote this song is because I was thinking that maybe I could inspire the young people through music.
The kids really loved the song because the song was really catchy. The song was really melodic.
The chorus line is, I wanna be free, drug free every day. That's the choice that I have to make.
The most
memorable moment that I had is actually with a huge group of people. I think it's around 200, 300 something. The whole group is like singing the tunes, and you know, the vibe is something that you will remember forever.
We started to organize gigs and concert in our city, and lots of kids all over Malaysia came, even people from outside our country like Japan, like Sweden. So there's lots of kids who got into straight edge and started to form a straight edge band.
Kai taught me about straight edge lifestyle. I wanted to join and follow it because I think it's cool.
So we were well known because of the straight edge movement. So I decided that I wanted to go to schools. I wanted to promote this at schools. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to capture their attention. So I started to find out about the drug-free world. I ordered the Educate Escape. Through the videos, to the pledge, I was really pleased to use the materials as my module to all the schools. Learning more about how drugs really harm people. With the program, I reached 15 schools across Malaysia.
This drug-free world campaign, it gives me more power to convince people that you don't need drugs and you don't need any negative things inside your body. You can use soy sauce.
But the drug problems in Malaysia is quite alarming, and now the dealers are targeting younger users, such as below 12. It's sort of a virus need to be cleared off. Every day we heard news about drugs, people dying, people killing each other, and it's now easy to sell and easy to use, and it's everywhere. I decided I wanted to go further to promote a drug-free campaign all over Malaysia. So I want the government to support this. It started when I contacted the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I wanted to create a drug-free youth day and to make a march against drugs and a concert. We gathered around 3,000 youth for the events, and it went successfully. Everyone stand up and pledge louder. I pledge to live the way by living in a drug-free life. Showing them a drug-free life is more fun. So everyone was excited to do the pledge. So it's really fun doing this. From this movement, I managed to attract a few musicians from other kind of background, other kind of genres. One of the guys is a big boxer. And we have a rapper and activist.
Some people don't know what is a raptivist. Actually, it's a combination of between rapper and activist.
Every kind of genre to spread the movement with me together. We have a positive response, and lots of kids started to inspire and wanted to join the movement and become bigger. So we continued with Young Heroes Tour. So we teach them how to be a hero for their communities. That's why we call it the Young Heroes. It's an anti-drug program. The booklets was easy to read and it's easy to remember. They read it and we discuss a little bit about the drugs. So we educate kids. You know, you can actually be drug-free and you can help out your community. The kids came out with a very good project because the idea was to feel, imagine, and do. Feel the problem, imagine how we can solve it,
Don't throw it away, but we give it to the homeless.
and go out there and do it. One of the group, they actually painted an orphanage house. And the rest of the group were doing repairing stuff and fundraising for the poor people folks home. This is what we want the straight edge kids to do. So we actually made it. So we toured all over Malaysia, 7 states, and I bring the program to schools. So I went to almost 100 educational institutes. And I bring along the pledge and the video that I got from the drug-free world, and I show it to the schools, university, and college that I went. We talk about, the dangers of drugs, and we do some activities. The artists will explain why they are doing music, why they are not doing drugs. We don't just give lectures to the kids, but at the same time we perform. So we wanted to spread the message through our music, to our songs.
The best moment during my Young Heroes tour, this one kid came to me and he asked me how to look cool. And I said, choose the right things and choose the right path. Yeah.
So this kid sees us and they see that there's an escape to their problems rather than taking drugs. The Young Heroes tour was an experience, and we've learned more what's been happening around Malaysia, especially towards the kids.
We don't smoke, we don't do drugs, we will not ever touch alcohol for life. You need to be like us lah. The last day was like a practical activities for the students to see what is it really happening in the drug hotspot area. One of the province called Taman Medan, very hot spot for drug dealing. Almost 50% of youth are on drugs, selling drugs and stuff. People in the village try to stop me on doing campaign in the village because they know that I will reveal the problem of drugs in the village. I was boycotted for the event. 4 or 5 guys came to me and saying that you cannot do this here. We are not allowing you to do the event here. No parents came, only kids. But those kids came and supported the event. After we came back, after the performance, we found out that our tires were flattened and a mirror were cracked. My response, I become more stronger, just like the Hulk, like a small person become a big green person. I'm a monster. So we toured, we played the video, and we do the pledge, and we have a positive response, and kids loved it. I know lots of people are trying to discourage me, try to demotivate me, try to put me down, but I'm still here. I'm still standing because I believe in positive mental attitude. My motto is stay awake and stay alive. We want to move into the next level and to do this program consistently. So because we don't want to be like 1 month, one event, so we want like everyday programs. So I wanted to have my own academy where I could teach more kids. So, but now we wanted to attract the lower class kids, the risk kids, the underground, and the misfits. Because these kind of kids were not being tackled by the government because they don't listen to the government. The only people who can approach them is me. I am from those kind of community. So this is where I do my classes. The big problem here is the drug dealers are everywhere to sell drugs to the kids. For the lower income people, I basically created a class, a music class, not having anything to do and hanging out on the street doing bad things. So instead I gather them to start a band and to deliver drug-free message to the masses. Some of the instruments created by them using recycled bottle. We teach music, we teach art, we provide activities for kids.
Kids from this urban poor area, they've been transformed from nothing. Now they understand themselves. So they know their responsibility towards the community, towards their families for sure.
Some of the kids in this area actually taking a job of drug dealer, working 10 years old. So when Kai came to the school with the movement of drug-free, with the music, so these kids attend the class. Now the parents is happy, the kids happy, he don't have to do the drug dealing thing.
So I inform them, you could be drug-free, at the same time you could be cool, and at the same time become a badass. And now I wanted to share it to the whole wide world. And I want it to be aired, but you can be rebel without drugs.
Please welcome to the stage Mr. Kai Aziz.
We're singing differently. We sing about change. Stop the war, stop racism. I don't need to smoke or take drugs to be cool. This is what we sing when we are on stage. Motivation through music. So we go to schools, we go to concerts, we go to community.
Do this because I care about the kids. We need to be different from the old local band. Now is all over the world. Through my activism job, I did 120 lectures and 250 bands did the pledge. And 50,000 kids had pledged to the drug-free lifestyle, and 500,000 people have been reached out to the media. The best moment of my job when kids come back to me and saying that you have saved my life and I wanted to be like you, so I wanted to help the people. There's no words of it when you have saved a kid, when you had open eye. Starting with Malaysia, I will start a drug-free movement in every state, in every country in the world. That's my mission.
Kai showed me that as musicians, we're more relatable to the community, and the bigger you get, the bigger people will look at you, and that's where you spread the positive message. And Kai does that, and he's been doing it for 22 years, and it's an example to everyone in the scene, and he's a very respected man.
I love his attitude. I already treat him like my brother because of his positive mental attitude.
When Kai leads the campaign, definitely people start to follow, especially the young people. He's very motivated. He knows what he's doing, and then the best part about him, he is not giving up easily.
To be able to watch him, really fight for what he believes in, it's worthy. I mean, it's really inspiring. It makes you feel more, you have hope for humanity because we have these kind of people.
Stay focused and stay wide awake and be sober. It's the best way that we can enjoy music. So that's my passion. So my passion is to create music and to empower other people's life.